This podcast contains adult language, descriptions of violence, sexual references, and other possibly offensive themes. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome to this episode of Back to the Story, where friends come together to play Dungeons and Dragons. I'll be your DM, Klouse. Let's get started.
How do three paladins of separate gods?
But if you ask me what my calling would be, I'd say that of a defender of my friends. I would give my life to see them through.
I could have, but I didn't. And every day has been beautiful since.
I think I'm surrounded by good things.
A cleric on a hunt for redemption.
I need it for my friends, family, these people that I love, who have always been the answers to my prayers.
Whatever the hell you are.
I don't know if deserving has anything to do with anything.
A storyteller.
And if you ever need me ever again, let me know.
And one that I haven't figured out yet.
I think that would take me a while to find someone more knowledgeable than me.
All come together. And there's not a bit of fate in that?
I think you mispronounced friends.
Well, I will drink to that.
When you see God's rest surrounded by armies, then know that his desolation has come near. Take these wings to Nyessa. Carry them home.
Alright, well, you guys finally ready to give it one more try? Let's do it. So, previously, Chapter 38, Second Chances. After returning from the land of Fairy, the Bronze Scales recalled their time there as if it happened in a dream months ago, which made sense when you found out months had indeed passed. Collecting yourselves of the earth and copper, you found Meli and Orzana left some time ago, leaving a message that they were heading to Barbarac. As you journeyed there, Amsen spoke to Vesper about being there for her. He had some coffee from a chariot, and Ball and an enlarged Ellory arm wrestled. Arriving in the Witherwoods, you talked. You walked among its forever yellow, orange, and red leaves of autumn. At the edge of Barbarac, stalling at first, Ezekiel finally returned home after nearly a decade, first seeing again knight-errant Maggie West, who led you to Ezekiel's father. After a rough reintroduction, you found Orzana to have stayed here and agreed to meet her at the Stained Finger bunkhouse after sunset. In the meantime, you all left the city walls, finding a quiet spot of nature where an atonement ritual was performed for Vesper, culminating in the visitation of a six-winged angel who referred to herself as Diether. For Meli, however, it's been months since your friend slept in the Fairy. You spent the first month or so at the Earth and Copper, trying to contact them through spell and arcane experimentation. Deciding you needed more research to find them, you headed on to Barbarac, leaving it up with Viral. You spent a few months there, working at the ensorcelled charms as you researched. Without much progress or response, you recently began to continue on to Nyessa in hopes that there would be more arcane knowledge to help you find your friends. A few days outside of Barbarac, you came upon one Mavis Cassidy and her steed. With you both heading the same direction, you all decided to travel together. We come back to the story here. On the edge of the Witherwoods, with a gray overcast sky peeking through the boughs above, Cassidy is pulled over to rest and feed her tall paint horse, Sassafras, her dragon-emblazoned armor clanking as she does so. Leaving you resting upon a log, your spellbook in hand. Meli, what would you like to do?
I may have not said what I was going to do because I wasn't expecting to go first. I guess I'll just be practicing the new spells that I learnt whilst I've dropped them aside.
Okay. So you practice for a few moments as y'all eat and recover, and after about 15-20 minutes, saddle back up and continue on northwards. Are you doing anything during your travels?
I guess I'll do what I always kind of do, which is try casting Sending to one of the others.
Okay. You've tried casting this nearly nightly, every day for months, no response. And as you try this time, who do you reach out to?
Kalvyn.
Okay.
I'll just say, hey Kalvyn, it's Meli again. It's been quite a while still. I'm still traveling. Missed you guys. And then that's it.
Kalvyn. So you have just finished Vesper's ritual. The light from the angel leaving has just begun to fade, restoring sight, and as that happens, you hear the voice in your head of Meli, and you can respond 25 words.
Meli, is that you? Where you at? I can't see. I can hear, guys. I can hear Meli. She's in my head.
And Meli, you hear that response back
Does that
for the first time in months. Most of it, yeah, cuts off at the end.
Okay. Oh god, no, I always forget that sending's only 25 words. Where are you guys? I'm traveling towards Nyessa with night lady called Mavis. Cassidy.
We are in Briarbridge right now. We just got done, cleaning off Vesper, kind of shaking the rug thing. How far out are you? I don't know where anything is.
I think that's it.
You hear, I don't know, and then it cuts off.
Do I know how far away I am?
You're about 5 days out of Briarbridge.
Okay. I'm 5 days ahead of you guys. This is the last time I can message you today. I counted today as 2 words for some reason.
Okay, well, I guess we'll head on that way. I'll let them know, everybody else know, and we will pursue your tracks. Love you.
You fucking say that when I can't respond, you absolute asshole.
So, Meli, using the last of your ability for today, reaching out a few times, you finally hear from your friends in nearly close to 6 months. As you're riding on the back of this very tall, large, but not super broad paint horse named Sassafras, just behind Cassidy. Just going in a light trot.
The thing is, I kind of want to wait for you guys at the same time she's in a hurry, so I'm I feel like I'll just leave it and let her carry on and hope that they go faster than us and catch up.
Okay. So, coming back to the rest, you've just finished this ritual. The light is just, you were blinded momentarily as the angel left once more, but are beginning to see clearly as you hear Kalvyn talking to the air. As you turn to one another, you can see Vesper now has a streak of white in her hair on the front. As they turn towards Kalvyn.
Kalvyn?
What? Hey guys, it was Meli. I heard it. She's oh gosh dang! Y'all hear that too? Am I the only one that heard that?
I didn't hear anything except for you talking.
I was talking to Meli, who was in my head, and she told me that she was 5 days ahead of us, and we should make haste. Maybe she might have said that. I might just be wanting to make haste. We should probably, go.
Did you tell her to come back here?
No, I did not express that interest. I did not. I thought, I won't lie to you guys, I don't know if we're going to stick around here for too much longer, if we're going to keep pushing on, so I just assumed we were all going that way.
We at least needed to visit Ezekiel's grove.
And unfortunately, that's back a few days in the other direction. I can try and meet up with you all later if you want to go meet up with Meli, but I can't move on without going back there.
Vesper, are you able to send her a message?
I have no idea.
Kalvyn will just, turn back in the direction he was facing.
Meli, I think we're going to be going back a few days. If you want to catch up with us at Briarbridge, or we're going to, a grove, for Zeke. Oh, good old Zeke. You remember Zeke, right? He's a pretty good guy.
Kalvyn.
Hold on a sec. I'm talking to Meli. Anyway.
Vesper's used this spell before. It doesn't work like that.
It's a spell?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, gosh darn.
Sorry, but wanted to make sure you only spoke to her when she could hear you.
Oh no, hey, I appreciate it. It's not a problem. I'm just gonna go sit over here for a little bit.
Vesper, why don't you try?
Okay. Certainly try. I don't have my spell cards out, guys, so give me just a second. So I will try and cast Sending and reach out to Meli to talk to her.
As you do so, the symbol, for the first time, and the A's glows once more.
Meli, we still have to go. We still have to Ezekiel's Grove. That's a few days away. Can you come back to Briarbridge?
I can try. It's nice to hear from you guys again.
Well, she says she can try.
DM, would it be unreasonable to think that my leader might be able to get us to Nyssa fairly quickly? You know, druids have access to that. I don't know if in her travels she might have gone closer, but if she can help bridge the gap so we don't lose time, we might be able to tell Meli that she may get there faster.
She might. I don't think you know for sure one way or the other, but you know she's been around for a while and she might.
I assume I've seen her at least travel via tree before.
She knows she's capable. Yeah, you don't know if she actually knows a tree there to go to.
Okay.
The other thing that you know is that about a week on foot is another town. And then it's probably maybe a week-ish travel again. So about 2 weeks from Briarbridge to Nyssa on foot.
Wow. She's much closer to us than she is to Nyssa. But there's a chance the leader of my grove might be able to get us a little bit closer. I don't know how much, but she might be able to save us a few days.
All right. Should I message her again? What do I tell her?
Just that
do it one more time.
She might not lose as much time as she thinks if she's in a rush to get there.
Okay. I will cast it again. We might have a way to catch up to you. You can continue on if you need to, and we'll find you later. Later. One word. Not syllables.
Okay, I'll carry on. Do you know how many days it would take you?
To be fair, I was trying to tell her to come back, and then we might be able to all go faster together.
Okay, well...
I'm sorry.
I'm also shuffling my spell cards because I have to... I've been given restrictions that I need to figure things out.
So we might have to fix that tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry guys, I'm trying to get...
It's okay.
Organized.
Okay, so, Meli, on the back of the horse, you hear that last message, a bit confusing compared to the first, but you're kind of riding on the back of this horse. You see Cassidy kind of lean over her shoulder with her long brown hair, kind of looking over you. Are you studying? Looking at you, raised eyebrow.
My friends have arrived back where we came from. So they were just telling me to keep on going and they'll catch up.
The horse to a stop. She kind of turns more to where she can look at you. The ones you've been looking for?
Yeah.
Well, that's great news. I'm glad to hear it.
Thank you.
They want you to keep going, though?
Yeah, that's what they said. They said,
sure?
Keep on going.
Are you sure you don't want to head back?
They told me to keep going, but if turning back would be
Vesper did say if you can't get back, you can keep going.
I know. I'm just fucking with you.
God, I'm sorry.
But if it would be quicker to turn around, I would like to go and see them, unless you're in a hurry.
Well, I'd like to keep going. However, I could send you back.
How?
She kind of slaps aside a sassafras. He can take it.
You're giving me the horse?
Well, he'll come back, of course. He knows his way.
You're just gonna have to walk?
Well, check these out. And she gets off the horse and helps you off as well. And she holds her hand out, and Sassafras, you've noticed over the past 2-3 days, this horse is smarter than most you've seen, and it knows and it pulls its leg back to where it can show you the horse shoes on it. And they're not iron, they're like silvered. You can see arcane glyphs upon them. The Sassafras is real fast. She lets go as it back into the dirt.
That's really cool. Why haven't we been using that already?
Well, he's fast if it's just one rider.
Oh, right, I see. So, how long do you think it would take for me to get back?
Let's see, we're about 5 days out on foot. He'll probably get you there in 2 or 3. You have to hang on, though.
As long as you definitely don't need him.
I'll be fine. He'll come back.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. And I will make sure he turns straight back around and comes back to you as soon as he drops me off.
Good. And, when y'all get up to Nyessa, look me up.
I will.
Good. Alright. So she kind of gets down, and she pulls out, you've seen her do this before at night. She pulls out what looks like incense, and she begins to light it. And when it ignites, you see this white fire build up. A symbol of the god she worships, Akashan, dragon god. She does this incense around the hooves and has Sassafras kind of stomp upon it, to where the embers of this white fire kind of enrapture the horseshoes. All right, he's ready. She helps you onto the horse. No, I'm not kidding. Hold on tight.
I'll lean really low and like...
That's it. Turns. All right. She smacks the side, the back leg of Sassafras as it... Meli, go ahead and make either just a regular strength check or an animal handling check as this thing lurches. Look, guys, PowerPoint came up. That's good.
Did you say animal handling?
Animal handling or just a regular strength check?
I got a 21 animal handling.
Okay. So, it jerks and one of your arms comes loose, but you lean in, squeezing with your legs to keep into the horse. And you kind of ride the wave almost of the back as it... This thing flies by. Your red hair is whipping in the wind beyond. As you look over your shoulder, and Mavis is already 300, 400, 600 feet back. And within a few seconds, you can no longer see her. Just... As Meli is rampaging through the Witherwoods, the rest of you, what are you guys doing? You're in the yellow and orange and red autumn leaves outside of the city where you've performed the ritual. It's a bit overcast.
I think this whole time there's just kind of been tears running down Vesper's cheeks, and she just kind of finally wipes at them. So I can cast spells again.
Sure.
I'm really glad. So those feathers, are we literally going to be bringing an angel with us to Nyessa? Or is that more of a symbolic thing?
I'm really not sure. But either way, I should gather these up.
Well, at least your angel seems to approve of you.
I hope that lasts. It's never been, in my experience, very long-lasting. Anyway, well, I did promise my mother that I would go back to the house tonight after we took care of business. Oh, by the way, you all talked to Orizana earlier. Did she say Raz was all right?
I didn't ask. I figured Meli probably took him.
Right.
We can ask her when we see her again tonight.
Of course.
We can definitely find out. Ezekiel, do you want us to go with you?
I mean, I'm sure our last visit to my parents' home was uncomfortable for everyone, so I wouldn't force that on any of you. My mother mentioned something strange going around. town, and I don't know, I wouldn't mind having y'all there, whoever wants to come, but it's not a giant city, but you can spend a few days, get some things done, some shopping. Kalvyn, there is a temple district. They do have a shrine to Valor Soul.
Huh? Well, that sounds pretty nice. I might like to stop by, maybe say hi, see if there's anything they need, anything I can do. Somebody else say something.
So I'd like to go along there too. Check it out, I guess. Maybe we can do that tomorrow?
Do it in the morning before we leave to go catch up with, well, I guess if you are leaving to go catch up with Meli, or if we're going to wait. Either way, we can figure that out tomorrow, but for now I just have to, I need to go see what my mother was talking about. And if you all want to come, or else please go enjoy the city for the evening. I doubt there will be much merriment in my home.
I'll come with you at least.
I'll go.
Yeah, I'll come with you as well if things are strange here. Maybe we might already know a little something about it.
Ball, Kalvyn, this is gonna seem rude, but for the sake of things, it might be better if Ball does not come, and I would hate for him to be alone, Kalvyn.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I don't like, having to be by myself either. It's really, really uncomfortable. I just find myself thinking, well, I wonder what everybody else is doing.
Why don't you and Ball go find Orzana again and check on Raz? Make sure he's alright.
Check on her ass?
Our horse, Raz.
Right.
I mean, you can check on her ass if you want to, but...
That's up to you.
Does she have an ass? I didn't know. I've never seen a mule or... what are they called? I don't really know. Jesus. Save me, please.
So anyway, Kalvyn, could you take care of Ball tonight? I'd hate for him to be on his own, and I just don't think my family they wouldn't be kind, and I would hate to see that happen again.
I mean, I guess, he Kalvyn turns towards Ball and spits at both of his hands and rubs them together, and is like, alright, come on, big boy.
And as they walk away, and I say, oh God, my father would kill Kalvyn.
So for reference, as y'all head back, I assume, towards the city, it's maybe about 3-ish p.m. in the afternoon. And so are some people going back to Ezekiel's? Are other people going somewhere else?
Well, I think I and Vesper and Amsen are going with Ezekiel.
And then I don't know, Kalvyn and Ball are having a boys' night.
Yeah, boy. I mean, yes. Kalvyn and I will be having a boys' night.
Just a suggestion, Kalvyn, with, Meli returning in a few days. This town is known for its flowers, fragrances, many fine gifts.
Yeah, that sounds like a... What? I don't know what you're trying to tell me, man.
Buy the girl a present, damn it.
Oh. Well, yeah, I mean, duh. Obviously, I just assumed you had meant something a little bit more, like, conspiracy theoretical, and maybe there was something I needed to investigate.
No, just buy the girl some flowers, please.
Okay.
So Ezekiel and some are y'all going back to the Ezekiel's parents now?
Yeah,
okay.
As well.
Kalvyn and Ball, what are y'all doing? Are y'all looking for shops? Are you chopping down trees? What are you doing?
I assume we're gonna go get a bouquet of flowers.
Okay.
Yeah, that's probably, something like that. I don't know. I'm not really good at finding things, so whatever I can find, whoever, What time of day is it?
It's about 3 p.m. in the afternoon.
So shop's probably open for a few more hours, maybe. We'd have to probably look and compare prices and then try to think of what ones would really bring out Meli's.
Okay, so Ball and Kalvyn wander in to look for...
While we're walking, Ball's gonna just ask Kalvyn what he thinks about strange omens that Ball witnessed. And that will be my segue to ask the DM to please remind me what the omens were, because it may have been a little while.
Oh, sure. I can do that. Don't worry about that. I have a whole section. So you recall that it was just some random worker carrying a crate or something, but his eyes went black, and he looked at you, Ball, and he said, "When you see God's rest surrounded by armies, then know that its desolation has come near." And then his eyes reverted back to normal, and he walked away as if he didn't know what happened.
So maybe it just kind of fades back to Ball and Kalvyn walking, and Ball's reciting what the omen was. So, you said the wrong two people alone. Something, God's rest, surrounded by armies, desolation comes near. So maybe in Ball language.
What do you think about what that man said? He mentioned God's rest, that it would be surrounded by armies. We would know that desolation was near. Where is God's rest?
I don't. Am I supposed to jump in at any time? I'm sorry, I don't mean to keep cutting you off, Ball.
Well, I think it's kind of like Ball's talking. He's thinking out loud and talking at you in a way.
See, Kalvyn just I think that's appropriate. Kalvyn will try to jump in every time, just like not really sure what to say. So every time Ball jumps back in, he's like, "Oh, okay, no, there's more to listen. Maybe I'll be able to figure it out if he keeps talking."
And then maybe when you keep trying to jump in and you don't, and then eventually Ball's just like,
"You're right, Kalvyn. It is hard to understand."
Yeah, it's like my brothers used to tell me. If you ain't got it, if you ain't figured it out, you're probably doing it right. You just got to keep trying, and you're guaranteed to sort it out. So, we just got to keep trying, just sort it out.
Ball's nodding. Ball's like,
You're very wise brothers, Kalvyn.
Yeah, I really do miss them. Hope they're doing okay.
Ball kind of like pat Kalvyn on the shoulder, and then I guess this is where we kind of walk into an area where we might find a shop.
Sounds appropriate. We find a nice, pretty flower shop with all sorts of different bouquets and designs, and we're just kind of thumbing through them all. Just be like, this one doesn't feel too good, and this one could be softer.
Give me an investigation check.
With advantage because Ball is helping. I hope. I don't know.
You can do separate or together, your choice.
Do you want advantage, Kalvyn?
I mean, I guess I can do advantage if you would rather.
No,
or would you rather? Okay, please do.
It's investigation. -1. This is gonna go well. How's it?
I have -2, and I rolled an 8, so 6.
Okay. So you guys wander into the city. You guys wander accidentally. You see a crowded area. You go into it. And as you're walking through this area, you thought was like a market area. You actually found like a neighborhood, but everyone looks the same as if they're all related. You see the men, while human, are all a bit shorter and a bit stocky. And the women are actually kind of look like Meli. Bright red hair, bright green or blue eyes. Their homes are distinct. They're simple shacks, but they're surrounded by fences, low fences, maybe only 2-3 feet tall, of dirt and earth. And the shacks in the center of these circles are domes. You wander in there for a little while. You see a few flowers, but nothing for sale. After about an hour or so of walking through this, you begin to hear more people, and you see buildings on the edge that look like there are signs, shop signs. You see people selling produce and meat and food. You can see smoke billowing up from a forge of some sort in the distance. And as you guys are walking in to search this new area, we'll go back to Ezekiel and the half-elves and Vesper. As you guys walk into the city, and Ezekiel, it's been a while, but you know where to go. Crossing the bridge and heading over to your family home, heading up to the manor.
Well, I don't really know what's happening. My mother was vague. She didn't want to talk about it out in the square, but she mentioned something being off. And of course, there's the reaping next week and the festival. So I'm sure there's a lot going on. Just thanks for coming with me. And I'll guide them to my home, where I will knock on the door. I'm not going just rolling it inside.
Okay.
No, Ezekiel, if you need us to come with you somewhere, we're going to come with you. You don't have to be so, I don't know, unsure of that.
Oh, I know. It's just Meli's been alone for so long. I didn't want to hold you all up from seeing her. I know that you'd come, and I'd catch up, but I wasn't going to hold you away from her. Especially, we are very, very late.
True. And I just grab his hand and give it a squeeze.
All right. I knock on the door.
Okay. And as you knock on the door to this manor, a few moments later, the door's open, revealing the servant. She's older now, but she opens the door and kind of gestures for you, smiling awkwardly. She gestures and lets you in.
Awkwardly smile right back. My mother asked to speak with me. So wherever she wants to host us.
This way. And she kind of walks and guides you down through the hallway, leading you out into the courtyard where you were before with your father, who is not there. He's probably in his office. He spends a lot of time there. Coming out there, she says, "Take a seat." And as the old woman leaves, presumably to go get your mother.
As we were walking through, just out of curiosity, how does this house compare to the houses that I've burglarized?
It's nice. It's a nice home. It's in an area where there are nicer manors, but you would probably still call this a manor. It is a very nice home. Okay. There are pieces of art, paintings of presumably relatives. There are vases of presumably silver with flowers in them. Fine furniture made of high quality wood. It's a nice place. A few moments later, Ezekiel, your mother, emerges. Hey, so you brought your friends here? She takes a seat. And she does this thing that you remember now what your mother does, where she will stand up in front of the chair and then wait for everyone else to stand so that you sit at one time. And she kind of sees that some get it and some don't. She just kind of shrugs and sits down anyway.
Well, you had said you wanted to talk, and I figured anything that happens that concerns the group that I'm traveling with now, and I brought the most appropriate for the situation.
Okay. And you trust them, Ezekiel?
With every fiber of my being.
Well, my name is Joanna de Barbarac. Pleasure to meet you. She kind of looks to the others. Your names?
I'm Vesper Fidelis.
Amsen Blossom.
And we met earlier, but Ellory.
That's right, Ellory. Well, if we're in good company, she kind of looks at Ezekiel again. There have been some whispers around town. Rumors, but concerning ones. Mostly just outside of town. Of course, there are beasts, and especially around this time, from the Great Tract. However, people have been found mauled in gruesome fashions. Intense wounds, some of them with there's no way to put this politely, faces ripped off. We're not sure. It doesn't seem to be a work of the beast. Some green knights have been sent, but haven't come back yet. They were just sent a few days ago. It's got everyone a bit on edge.
I certainly think so, with the hunt coming up for the reaping. Hasn't it already started?
Yes. This started happening not too long ago. Maybe a week ago we found the first body, and we've been finding more since then. Some of the knights who were on the hunt are continuing to do so, but from what I understand is they sent some specifically to try to find out whatever this creature is.
presumably a creature.
Well, the knights are very good at what they do. I'm sure that they will figure it out, Mother. I don't think they would tolerate me getting involved.
Well, you should ask and at least see if they might need a hand. You owe them that much.
I suppose. Yes, Amsen?
I was going to ask the DM if Amsen had heard any stories of creatures that like to abduct the faces of people rather violently, or if this just sounds like some sort of murderer who decided that this was going to be his shtick.
Yeah, you can make a history check, we'll say.
And I'll get my dice out because I forgot to get my dice out.
You're supposed to be professionals.
I know. I forget my dice all the time when I'm DMing Friday. It's like, I gotta get my dice out. Hey, that's a good roll. That's a 21 history.
21, okay. You know for sure this is obviously not the work of any normal beast. And if it's more than one or two, it wasn't done on accident. It's something done on purpose. It could be someone just copying, or it could be the originators of the trend. You don't know in great detail about the specifics of any creatures that do this specifically, but you have heard stories of demons that collect specific parts. Sometimes the heart, sometimes eyes, the tongue, sometimes the head or face. It sounds fiendish in nature, but you don't have that much to go on. But if you had to put money on something, that's probably what you put on for now.
Okay. Then Amsen will probably say, well, it's doesn't sound like a feral creature by any means. If it's not just a normal person who decided that, this is what they were going to do, then I would guess that it might be a fiend of some sort.
It could be. There have been reports of bite marks from some of the bodies, too big to be a person's. And Ezekiel, I'm not intended to push you back in towards the knights, but it might be good for you to say something to them.
I know, Mama.
Um,
What about everything else? The war? As I mentioned, we missed a bit of time. Did the war come here? Is everything all right?
It largely left us alone, thankfully. They marched through some of the kingdoms along the Skyfall path and headed up towards Asmazaros. It didn't reach this far east. Thankfully, we heard a few recruiters come through, Lumeri early on, but nothing beyond that.
Good. Well, I'm glad you were mostly spared.
Now, your father's a bit hung up. It has affected trade, of course, but we appear to be safe, at least from the violence. And while he's handling that, I'm trying to handle planning this reaping and the festival itself. And with these rumors going around and whatever is lying in the Witherwoods beyond, it's throwing a few wrenches into things.
Well, I can't imagine many want to go hunt in the face of something that's going to rip their face off.
No, which is a problem. The knights are on it, but like I said, it'd be good for you to talk to them.
Not for them, but for you, Mama, and for giving you a good festival. I will see what we can do.
And as she kind of stands up, there's one other thing. You know the Black Paws have been trouble over the years. They're bigger than they have been in the past. We've seen their scouts around. Haven't had to deal with too much immediately, but some convoys, some trading convoys, your father has found reports that they've been sacked or destroyed. Be careful if you're heading east or northeast.
We will. Thank you.
Of course. I should get back to planning, but stay as long as you need. We can have Lisa set up a bed or something if you need it.
I appreciate that. But I think you might understand that my skin itches a little bit, and I will just glance in the direction of wherever my father's office is while I'm in this home.
Of course. Understood.
It's good to see you, Mama. I won't take off without saying goodbye.
Good. Well, I'll get back to planning. Good luck.
I will gather everybody and leave, I suppose.
Okay. Yeah, so you guys walk out, and as you're kind of walking out, we come back to Meli as you are straight, without rest. SS Rest continues to storm through the trail. Give me a perception check.
10?
Okay. You hear creaking as you see some leaves off the ground thrown into the air. As you see, there is a line right in front, a rope that's been strung taut across the path. As the horse slams into it, give me an animal handling check at disadvantage, since you saw it late, as you try to get Sassafras to jump over it.
5?
Its legs get hung up on the rope. It snaps immediately, but the horse trips, slinging you. Give me a dexterity saving throw. As the horse, as you're flying in the air.
14?
So you take, instead of 11, you take 5 bludgeoning damage as you hit. Try to roll into it, slamming into a tree, finally stopping. As you look up and back down the trail from the sides where those rope were, you see large figures coming out of the woods. As the horse, SS is starting to get to his feet. What do you do?
How far away are
They're maybe 35 feet away.
they? How many is there?
You see 2 right now.
Are they near each other together?
Oh, they're on opposite sides of the road.
Yes.
So they're maybe 25 feet apart.
Oh. Could they not be 15 feet apart? I'm going to shoot a ray of frost at the one on the left.
Okay.
And I'm just going to be like, don't come near me! I'll fry you!
Make an attack roll.
23.
Okay. It slams into the center of mass. General damage?
10.
Okay. Is it?
And its speed is reduced by 10 foot.
As a shard of ice slams into it, and the ice coalesces around him as he tries to push through, slowing him down. The other one hasn't, and at that moment, as an arrow flies by your head, give me a dexterity save, as you hear the whistling of the wind coming from behind.
13?
Okay. 13. You take 24 damage between 5 or 6 arrows that slamming into your back from behind. You turn over your shoulder and you see there's maybe 4, 5, 6 in these quick moments trying to think. There's several of them on the other side of the trail coming out of the woods from the side. Seth Russ has just got to his feet. You see a few arrows are in him as well. What do you do? You can see now as they're getting closer, they are tall, maybe 7 foot, but they're hunched over. It's hard to tell. They're broad-shouldered. They're wearing armor, most of them, heavy breastplate. Some of them have shields and heavy mauls. A few others, or a number of others, actually have bows as they're stringing more arrows. Their bodies are covered in fur. They have these... One moment, Jesus.
Someone's here to save my life.
Next time on Back to the Story.
I don't know what this means. I don't know what I am supposed to do about it, if anything. Aine?
Black Bull.
I hope it's not something that Meli's run into.
Probably not. You said she was far away. I'm sure she is fine.
Well, I'm just thinking on her way back.
They're going to try to grab you.
Well, I'm unconscious, so...
Meli falls unconscious.
For part 2 of this episode of Back to the Story, you can find it on Stitcher, Google Play, Player FM, or TuneIn. We also have a YouTube channel called Back to the Story, an actual play podcast. If you'd like to support the show, feel free to buy us a coffee at ko-fi.com/backtothestory.